What's going on, everybody? Hope you can hear me pretty well. Let me adjust this. All right. Well, let me see if I can adjust this, because I don't want this thing in the way the whole time. A lot of silliness. Alright, let me see what's up with the stream here. It's not rolling. Alright. Seems to be going pretty good. So, bear with me. Sorry. Got some technical difficulties. Little bit of stuff going on. All right, let's try this again. Sorry if that's really loud. Okay. I think we are good. All right, I'm trying to view the stream and all of the chat and everything, so let's see what's going on here. And it is acting up on me. If anybody has any questions, go on ahead, ask them. Today's pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy, just a couple of updates, and then maybe a giveaway. Truthfully, very likely a giveaway, but still. Alright, let's try this again. Today's pretty straightforward. All right. Just a couple of updates, and then whoa. Dial that back. All right. a touch frustrating because I can't watch it in the app. It just opens up a thing, so seeing the chat is a little bit slow, but I'll make it work as best as I can. Put that there so I can read all the chat. All right. Let's roll with it. Okay, so I have got some crazy news. So I just spent a bunch of money getting stuff for the channel. One thing is relatively cheap, nothing too crazy. Honestly, just a run-of-the-mill purchase. The other thing was a brand new sewing machine. Hold on one second. Hey Siri, workshop. Trying to improve the lighting in here. There we go. And so what we have currently is the Stitchmaster right there. And I will be getting the Cobra Class 4 in a couple of weeks, but I went and bought it today. Went and paid the last bit on it. I'm sorry, I take that back. I went and paid for it today so it could be delivered. And whew, I am feeling that was over $3,000 for everything, taxes and all that good, and the freight shipping. So I managed to get it a little bit cheaper than usual because it's getting shipped to the shop, to the leather shop, and I'll just pick it up from there. So I save several $100s that I would have paid if I would have bought it online to have it shipped to the house. So I will spend 45 minutes there and back to save myself $300+ for freight shipping. We're gonna call that a win. But oh my goodness, I just dropped $3,000 on a machine, which means, both fortunately and unfortunately, that I won't be doing very much in the way of hand stitching much anymore. It's just the nature of things. Actually, if I'm going to spend that money on this machine, what's going to follow is that I'm going to be using it a lot. I have to get the cost per use down, which really just means I got to use it a lot to get the money's worth out of it. So very, very big drop in the amount of things that are going to be hand stitched on the show, or on the channel rather. Could be worse. So that was very expensive. And why do I have all this junk still on my desk, or on my workshop? The other thing that I got today that was far less damaging to my pockets was this hide here. So this is not really an unboxing because it didn't come in a box, but an unrolling, rather, an unraveling. Not sure what the proper term would be. So this is a paisley floral print. If we can see that there. I love how that looks. Let me turn this light down a bit. It is a bit harsh. There we go. I think that's a little better. So with a lot of the embossed hides, the color and the impression is pretty consistent in general, but different enough so that this part of the hide, which I'm choosing to show, shows it was a little bit darker, probably just more pressure when it was made. The rest of it looks more like this. And when it's dyed, it comes out looking really, really good. And I'm going to show you. Because that's what we do on this channel. We show people things. Gonna break out a few different colors because why not? Black is really boring, but it serves its purpose. I am missing the two that I bought recently, and I think that I put them in another room. No, don't close. There we go. So, I'll be back. Give me 45 seconds. Well, that is supremely frustrating because it is not where it should be. And it was where it should have been. I just let it get covered up by something because I'm a dummy. Sorry about all the bouncing back and forth. I am right-handed, so most of what's going to happen is going to happen over here. And I need the stuff to be out of the way. So there's that. It's not personal, I promise. So I've got ox blood, burgundy, whoa, bison brown, and black, coal black. Give it a good mix. Know what else I'm about to do is go get some damn gloves. Let me see if I can get this thing to open up in app. It's going to be really difficult to catch everything. This is upsetting. Still nothing. See if there is a way to view this. Nope, only in the app, or rather only on the browser. So, all right, I'll be back with the gloves. Let me see if I can hack the system. There we go. Okay, better. So we're checking it out in app, and I can see your chats as they pop up. Crises fixed, averted. Now on to the next ones. All right, so first things first. If you are doing anything with a very strong chemical like barge, or anything with dyes, just glove up. That is the smart move. Trust me. Smart people do smart things. Negligent people have news stories and mishap reports written about them. Be in the former group, not the latter group. Got me? Alright, so we've already shaken up everything. These two haven't been used before, so they got a good shake. These two have been, quick light shakes. So, You'd think that they would have those easy pull tabs to remove, but no. Gotta cut. So I can see that I have one viewer right now. If you can, go ahead, put in the chat where you're from, or if you have any questions, by all means, please ask. For the record, I don't recommend doing this, like with the cutting all the way around. But maybe I should have cut it all the way around, right? However, it did give us the area that we're going to apply the dye to. So there you go. And this burgundy looks really good. You know what? I like it a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and cover a good area. And I'm going to just make a quick project out of this. This will be something interesting, but something quick too, something like maybe just a 3-pocket or a 4-pocket wallet there. Nothing too crazy. So I have very foolishly, but on purpose, applied this as if it were oil. So just a whole lot of coats getting applied. Normally when you're applying dye, you just apply one coat, let it be, let it dry, apply another, let it go until you have the desired color. But I didn't do that. I'm cool with it. It was on purpose. The next one though, the oxblood, I'm going to do that. I'm going to apply that in waves. But I'm done with this one. I'm not going to use any more. That's a lie. I'm going to block this out. I'm going to try to get a nice solid rectangle right there. But now, I'm done with this one. And being done with it, it gets closed and verified that it's locked. And just to make sure that I don't use up more than I intend, I'm just going to cut off a good piece. Then that'll be the end of that for this piece here. I'm going to try to preserve as much of that as possible just because I like how it looks with the largest contrast. So the other pieces are going to get just small blocks. All right, next up, the oxblood. Serious, what's going on, man? How you doing? Come on. All right, so I'm going to open this properly across the way now. Doop-de-doo. Sorry if you also hear the echo. Oh, I can already tell that I'm going to love this color. Although I did over apply, so let me get a bunch of that out. There we go. Do this up here just in case I really like it. I'm digging that oxblood. Oh yeah, with Valentine's Day coming up, I feel oxblood is gonna get some usage. It's a great shade. And now that this burgundy is drying out, it's starting to look really good too. And is that enough to make two pieces with the oxblood? It is not, so we're going to go up higher. So normally I don't do my dyeing in this room. I do my dyeing and my tooling in the other room, but that would require a big change in the setup and to move everything. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to film in here. All right. And now for the color I am very much looking forward to, this bison brown. To hear the definition doesn't sound all that interesting, and to see it in the jar doesn't look all that interesting. But the couple of things that I have made from bison brown, they look really good. Especially when it dries. Oh yeah, I definitely didn't get enough ink on there. Or not ink, but dye. Let's get some more in there. Oh, there's so much bubbles from when I shook it. Okay. Just didn't soak in there. Get that excess off. See, this reminds me of this technique for dyeing that I learned a couple years ago called block dyeing. It's where you dye a thing that has, raised parts of it. So you'll dye the thing on the bottom a lighter color, and then you'll get a block of wood or something else that will sit flat, like really firm, and you'll have the thing that you'll dye, that you're used to dye, on that, and you just brush it across the top. So all the things that are raised are the only things that get dyed that darker color. And that's how you're able to get something like, say, a tan with only the raised parts dyed a darker brown or a black or something like that, without having to resort to using a brush for those things, which honestly just takes up a lot more time and increases the price. Maybe dilute the oxblood with alcohol for a lighter shade on that textured leather. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think when I do use it in the future, I'm just gonna only apply 1 or 2 coats and then let it be. I don't wanna have to get into the whole diluting or thinning out, or what's the proper term? Reducing the dye. I don't want to do that. I will if I have to, but if I can avoid it, I will. It's just an extra step. Plus, I don't have any rubbing alcohol in the house. Have you ever used black walnut dye from the whole? I haven't. I have seen vinegaroon done, but it's honestly, it seems like a lot of work to get done for a black color. Although it is a really, really good color. I can't hate on that. Come on. You know, I'm just gonna do away with it if it's that much of a problem. There we go. But I guess to properly answer your question, no, I have not used vinegaroon. I'm aware of it, and I think it's a good technique, but it's not something that I want to use. Maybe if I had more room in my house, then I'd probably do it, but for right now, no. See, I'm reminded now of why I stopped using this one. It's not that I dislike the color. It's that I had oil-based dye for black, and it was way better, so I stopped using this one. As soon as I started applying it, I remembered why I moved away from it. That's why I still have it. All right. Definitely overdid it on this one here. It'll dry to be something closer to this, although the center is just really saturated. Oh, well, not as saturated as I thought, but still really, really deep in there. I'm tempted. Let me find that oil-based black dye that I had. Give me a minute. Victory! See, this is what I was using, and this is the oil-based dye. Have made some. I can send you if you don't want to try. If it is safe to send, as in something that you are allowed to send over the mail, then by all means, I would love to try some of that vinegaroon. Wait, hold on. Are you talking about sending some of the actual vinegaroon, or just some of the stuff that you've made? If it's some of the stuff that you made, then yeah, I'd love to see that. If you're talking about the vinegaroon solution, I don't know if that's allowable to be sent through the mail. So if you can do it without getting fined or arrested, sure, send me a bottle and like a plastic jar or something. I'm down. So, and you can tell already from the application, if you remember how this applied as opposed to how this applies, it's less bubbly, less streaky. I remembered why, as soon as I started applying it on this one, why I wanted the oil-based dye. It just applies a little bit better, and it fills out cleaner, I guess, for lack of a better term. There we go. Let me see if I can. So still, because I'm live streaming with a GoPro, I can only film in, or live stream rather, in widescreen. So I'll try to get this closer, but it'll be a little bit of lens distortion, sorry. I blame the ghost of Steve Jobs and the programmers at GoPro for this. Oh yeah, when this applied, it was thinner, diluted more, streaky. This applied nice and clean and uniform, no bubbles. I mean, you can even tell, you can see how it's drying. It's just, it coats better. That's why I'm a big fan of oil-based dyes, if that's an option. There's way more color options available for the water-based dyes. Oil-based dyes, in my opinion, they finish better, but there's something to be said for the water-based dyes. Again, the color variation, the price. There's nothing wrong at all with water-based dyes, but if you have the exact same color and you can go oil-based or water-based, I recommend the oil-based. On the ship. Yep. Yeah, definitely hit me up on the Insta. Appreciate that. So got a whole bunch going on this week. I got a couple of shows, or rather a couple of market / pop-ups that I'm signing up for. Gotta make sure my schedule can support that. And then I gotta spend the time and effort to knock out some more materials so that I have some things for sale. Some more things for sale. And I gotta make a couple of Valentine's Day projects for the channel. I am flirting with the concept of making a pair of matching shoes for Valentine's Day. One in a size 10, because apparently that's the most common men's size. I don't know what the most common women's size is, so I'm gonna look that up. So I'll just make a pair and see what's going on there. Hopefully everything works out and have the time to complete it all. But if not, then I'll figure out some other smaller project. Last year's Valentine's Day project was this here. Let me make sure that this is all in, okay, yeah. So last year's Valentine's Day project was this here with the Berry King heart basket weave stamp. It's the mini calico clutch pattern from Tandy. And what are we gonna make for this one here? I think we will keep it simple with some simple minimalist wallets. A little 3-pocket action here, so two pockets, so outer pocket, and then 2 of these will create a second. Man, I can't count tonight. And this should be 1, 2, 3 pockets for this style here. So I'm very sure that there's enough for this project here. Worst case scenario, enough for the front and the back. So we'll cross that bridge once we get it rolling. Yeah, I don't want to cut this until it dries, but I think it'll be a while before it dries. Yep. But this, I think this is about as dry as it's getting. So, let's see what we can get out of this. Can I get 2 of these? I don't think I can. So these are out. Yep. Easy day. So I know what we're gonna do now. So for this here, this will be the back, this will be the front. And because we are all about love this month, this will be the centerpiece. It'll be a little loose because it's not very sturdy, but I think this should more than make up for it. Worst case scenario, if I need to, I will just go with something else just to make it a little more sturdy. So let's go ahead and prep for that while we are waiting for this huge section to dry. Let me get all the sharps out of the way here. Everything in its place, which is weird. The workshop is way more organized than the rest of my house. Although I guess it's not really weird. It's kind of par for the course for craftspeople. Blast from the past, I found this and decided to give it another whirl. I see where I messed up a couple of years ago. I didn't give these sides here enough material, so when I remake it, I'll make it a little bit wider. And this was me repurposing an old Louis bag that I got off of eBay when I was in Japan. Still works really well. There's just a few things design-wise that I would change when I make it again. Pro tip, if you can afford dies for cutting, I say go for it. They will save you an immense amount of time. And time is the only thing in this world that you can never get any more of. So, by all means, if you can, and you can afford it, utilize dies. I am in full support of those. Let's move this over. Case in point. but would take maybe a few minutes to cut this out properly if you just set down the pattern and marked it out or used acrylic. With the dies, done. Time saved. Two pieces cut, done and done. Huge fan of that. Nice and smooth. Easy day. Now, if your workshop and or lifestyle doesn't support that, not a big deal. Don't feel bad. Most people are in that boat, so to speak. So you're not missing out if you don't have dies and a hand press or a clicker press. But if/when you have the opportunity later, understand it will save you a bunch of time. Definitely. And now, what I'm going to consider doing is I'm going to look for a piece that doesn't require cutting. That is a really, really strong red, but I'm still going to go for it. I said cutting. That doesn't require dyeing. I misspoke. Went a little too deep there. That's a problem I have a lot. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. Palo Santo, gotta love it. You might be asking yourself, hey Jay, why are you using that tiny, tiny beveler on this wallet? It's because all my other bevelers are in the car, or in the truck rather. All right. For those in the chat, question. There's only 2 of y'all, so this should be pretty simple and straightforward. So 2 questions really. Should I use the big stamp or the small stamp? So that's one question. And should I put the stamp here, or should I put the stamp here? Big or small, doesn't matter. So, small stamp here in the corner, small stamp there in the center. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to have this stamp be here where there's a ton of embossing already, or embossed texture already. Rather have it on something smooth if I can. So, to the folks watching, please lend me your guidance. And while y'all are doing that, I'm gonna get these edges here. All right, also, let's do the smart thing. Get these put away. I'm actually going to take all of these into my workshop, or the workroom where I do the painting and the tooling. So I'll be back in a little bit. I'm also very shamelessly about to share my stream so I can try to get some more folks on a live stream watching. I love technology, but it does kind of suck that if it's not on social media, then it's not real, you know? will be checking these comments in a minute. And I think that's it so far as the sharing. All right. Let me make sure that everything's live. All right, cool. All right. No input. I'm going with this one. Right there, smack dab in the middle. It's only a little bit arrogant. We'll let that sit. All right, I think that's about as dry as it's gonna get. Yep, I can't smell any of the alcohol or anything like that. Oh, of course, District Leather would go live right when I'm doing this. I'm not gonna get any traction. Damn you guys. Want to get a bit more definition. All right. That should help. Perfect. So for anyone who is having a little bit of trouble getting detail out of their stamps, it might be that the surface underneath is too hard. Once I started using a thicker piece of veg tan underneath my stamps, the detail that I would get would be outstanding. Yep. All right. What goes for this one? Always remember, put away your sharps when you are done with them. Danny, what's up? What's going on? I appreciate the support. I'm glad I could share a night, bro. How you been? I know you're not a huge social media sort of guy, so I don't expect you to post all the time, but I gotta tell you, bro, I've been missing you. Yep. All right. I'm gonna have to go ahead and reapply some on the edge there, but you know what? I'm gonna do that when I'm done. That stays up here. Gotta keep it a little organized, right? So we're gonna add the, for this one, we're gonna go with the small stamp, but still right there in the middle. Enjoying the shit out of the day. California ammo freedom, love it. There we go. Looks awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been trying. I've been trying to get better at things, trying to branch out, do some more, get out there. I thought that the hustle going to working the farmers markets and whatnot was going to be too slow of a grind. Out here, bro, there's a market every 2.5 weeks. They're not very expensive to get in as a vendor, so I can get out there, get my work out there. That is not a deep enough impression. So it's a slow grind for sure, but I'm gonna keep it up, keep my spirits up, do my thing, and just try to Try to maintain the passion and then just share it, you know? One of the guys I follow on YouTube, he had the same thing. He was working for, I think, the city, he said, as an electrician, doing this leather thing really just for himself. Got laid off, decided to do the leather thing, and he was getting just enough success. But, okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, hit the errands, bro. But then he almost gave up. He almost gave up on his dream, and he just persevered, and he had one big break, and everybody saw what he was capable of, and his craft took off like a rocket. There we go. See? Lots of detail in that stamp there. Make sure I'm not too close to the camera. And you don't normally get this great detail when you have a very hard surface on the bottom. I mean, it's possible, but less so. When you have a softer surface, the detail shows in with less pressure. What am I going to do with this? This is too small for most things. What do I got here? No, that template is in the car. So this will have to go for later. So we're going to make something with a finish up with the burgundy and the oxblood. Actually, you know what? It would actually take a while to get it to be finished properly because of the edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish these up tomorrow or Saturday. You know what? We'll make it a Saturday. I'll stream it on Saturday. I'll prep the edges already, except for the last ones for these pieces here. So I'll do the edge painting live, but the other ones they'll already be done, so that once I'm done with the edge painting and it's dried, we can roll right into stitching. So that is how that will end. Yep. So that piece there. These two pieces there. I really like how this red looks. I'm so glad I got that. And I got it on sale. What? Alright, so that's the end of those particular pieces there. See, I want to keep going, but I just don't have much. I actually knocked out a whole bunch earlier today. And I feel like I want to go out and get a little bit of celebrating in. And by celebrating, I mean I want to do something that will just make myself feel better. After all the money I just spent on that machine today. Is there anything anybody has any questions about, or anything anybody else in the chat wants to see? As long as it's not too expensive or just a massive time vampire, I'll do it. And I'm back. Let's take Miss Quinn off of the board here. All right. So, one of the things that I completed earlier this week was this sheath here, this holster here. So this one is set up for pistol platforms of a medium/larger variety. And for those who are not very pistol savvy, those larger pistol platform styles would be something like this here. YouTube, this is a training weapon. There are no moving parts. It's not a real gun. Don't flag my stream. I'm not promoting inappropriate or unauthorized things. So this isn't real. So this is a mock-up of a Sig Sauer P226, 9mm. This will fit in there just fine. A little bit snug, however, covers the trigger. And hold on. There we go. Will fit deeper in with time and use, but the biggest thing, obviously, is that it covers the trigger from accidental impact while it's being worn. And the case itself doesn't cover the mag release. Now, I was told that the cases should... Oh, I didn't think that the case covering the mag release would be an issue because it would take a lot of pressure to activate it in general, and especially through a layer or layers of leather. However, I was told today that just in case, make sure that nothing impedes this or that no part of the case can come in contact with it. So I'm going to have to adjust the pattern to allow for that. Sounds a little bit weird, but all right, well, whatever. Another platform. This is the Smith & Wesson, another not real weapon, just a training platform. This is a 45. Again, fits it well, covers the trigger, leaves exposed the magazine release. For a normal size 1911 with the standard barrel, this won't fit, but with either of the two shorter barrels, this will fit. But it will also cover the magazine release. Now, in my personal opinion, there's no way that anybody could have a negligent discharge because of a case like this. And I don't understand fully how a magazine release could occur through a case like this. But still, I'm told for the purposes of covering myself, apparently some folks have blamed either magazines emptying or ND's negligent discharges on their case. I think that's a cop-out and stupid, but I'm told that's a thing, so. And I'm not trying to get sued, so I got to adjust my pattern. This also was something that was kind of unnecessary. I made this from some pieces that were cut that was going to be a purse, but I decided against making it. This is Horween leather. It's a Latigo, if I'm remembering right. Or, yeah. It's more expensive than a, a gun holster should be because of how expensive the material is. But I was in my bag on that one. So there's that. All right, so next project that we're gonna do, something pretty simple, straightforward. Nope, not that one. This one here. So we're gonna make this flap wallet here. It's the pattern from Little King Goods. If you haven't used these types of patterns before, this is actually 2 pieces and 1 acrylic piece. We're gonna make it from this textured bit of Horween right here. Sorry if I'm not talking. I know that makes it really, really boring. I'm just trying to not waste my money here, zoned in. Let me tell you, once I get enough subscribers and I can start getting super chats, you better believe there's going to be a start drinking button. So if you super chat past a certain point, there will be some whiskey consumed, I assure you. But until then, sober streaming. again, if y'all got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I am zoned in trying to not mess this up. I know what I'm missing. God.
Power on. Bluetooth connected.
It was so boring this whole time. It's killer. There we go. Hopefully that isn't too loud. It's not overpowering anything. Pro tip about stuff like this: if there's a really, really shallow circle or curve to cut, just go on the inside, well into it, and then just where's the good one? There we go. Thought I had 3. This one has always been hard to turn. But that other one had the smaller radius. You know what? I'm just going to do things hard myself. What's going on, Miss King? How are you doing? I'm just going to go ahead and cut this nice and shallow. You know what's funny, Miss King? I got a huge chunk of my family from Philly. My sister went to college. She grew up in Philly. Went to college not far from there. And she now works back in Philly. And a bunch of cousins and whatnot. Matter of fact, somewhere in my YouTube catalog, there is a wallet that my cousin asked me to make for her dad. He is a lifelong Eagles fan, and I made him a wallet that is Eagles themed. So I included that sculpture, the love sculpture that's really popular, well known in Philly. But instead of an O, I made it a football. I had the Eagles logo on the front and everything. And he had no clue she was getting it made. He loved it. I'll have to dig deep to find pictures of it. I've since switched phones, I think 3 different times, but somewhere, I definitely have pics of it. Also, I am very sorry about getting that piece out to you so late. I had it all set, ready to go, put it in my bag, and I immediately put other stuff in front of and on top of it, and I just could not find that thing for the life of me. And then I found it the other day and put some finishing touches on it, had it good to go, but I was really upset because it's a poor reflection on how I do things. All right, now, so like I was saying earlier, this one piece is intended to make 2 pieces. Where? Wonder if I can make that happen with, nope, I gotta pull out the whole other piece again. Alright, so this wallet is supposed to have a flap across the front to keep it closed, and the template for that is right here. And it can be as wide as you want it. Silly. There we go. Now, if we could just win the lottery. You know what? I wish you all the best. Make sure it's wide enough. There we go. Alright, so with this one here, this is the channel that you would use to determine the size of this. So you can either make it here up against this wide piece, or you can drag the scratch all against the bottom of this piece here. So you can make it as wide as this piece here, or as wide as this opening there. All just depends on what you want. I'm gonna go, because I want it big and wider. I'm gonna mark the bottom. And then the sides. I get this template? This template here came from Little King Goods. Great leather crafter from Toronto. Great channel, a lot of great tutorials, especially in his actually not really tutorials, a lot of just how to. So him making the process, not too many of him walking us through the stuff, but a lot of videos of him making his products. Really good dude. Well-intentioned, loves his family, loves his faith, and he's a great story about why you shouldn't quit. He was about to quit his leather crafting journey. He just wasn't getting the sales and everything, and he had a family and everything to provide for. And somehow, some way, he just got a big lucky break. His video, one of his videos got a lot of traction, ended up on the front page of YouTube, and everybody just flooded his page, checked him out, lots of subscribers, lots of eyeballs on his work, sales spiked, and he's been running a very successful business ever since. Most of my templates the acrylic templates are from either Little King Goods or Make Supply. Make Supply is run by this guy named Justin, if I remember right, from Philly. So if you order anything from Make Supply, you'll get it real quick. Actually, I'll hold off on these for a bit. And his the Make Supply Leather website has a lot of free PDF templates, so you can go and download the templates, print them up yourself, try them out, do your own thing. A lot of really great stuff. Great way to dip your toe into the leather world. Okay, now this isn't really part of the instructions so far as how the guy Ryan who runs Little King does it. But what I do for this piece here, or for this section here, I skive this out, so just to make it easier to fold. It's easier for cards or cash or whatnot to sit there, but honestly, it just makes that bend a lot more easier to manage. This isn't very thick to begin with, but still, if I can make it easier to work with, I will. This is a French skiver. You can use it on the edges of things. Truthfully, it's a skiver. You can use it wherever. But, is that 4? The French skivers, in my opinion, are best used to take down the bulk of material on something in the middle. Especially ones this size. The smaller ones are good for the edges too, but ones this size are really great for taking off material from the middle. How thick is that leather? This is about 3/4. Let me make sure I'm in good frame there. Yeah, more 3, but maybe 3/4. Not bad wallet thickness. Good and sturdy, feels nice. So with the French skiver, if you're going towards the edge, that's fine. Just have a distance that you plan on skiving out, then just from there go outward. Actually, hold on. Completely forgot. If you can help it, skive onto glass or a smooth stone, like marble or quartz or whatnot for your cutting boards or for your tooling and whatnot. Because, all right, quick science lesson. So you have hardness, then you have toughness. So steel is tough, glass is hard, steel is hard, glass is harder than steel, steel is tougher than glass. It's very odd, but it's true. So this steel won't cut into the glass. That's why you skive onto glass. You're not by skiving with glass underneath. It's very odd, but I assure you, if you know any material science teachers, they will explain to you very quickly. There's a hardness scale and there's a toughness scale. And steel is high in toughness, but glass is high in hardness, higher in hardness actually than steel. So if you take a piece of glass, you can scratch a piece of metal, but you cannot take a piece of metal and scratch a piece of glass. You need something harder than glass. There, science lesson over. Back to the leather. Come on. Try not to overdo it here. That's what happens when you don't strop enough. There we go. A little bit better. That is much easier to fold. Didn't even need to take off that much. Yet to purchase any skivers. Well, truthfully, I strongly recommend the Japanese skiver over the safety skiver, the ones that Tandy sell. Those ones, they are, the safety skivers aren't bad at all, but the Japanese skivers are way better in my opinion, especially for the edges. Yeah. See, I just said skive onto the glass, so let's do that. So first thing you got to remember about the Japanese skivers, it's flat on one side and then beveled round on the other. So how you're going to strop it, like so, on the beveled side. So you're going to start it here and then bring it up a bit, but you're going to keep that angle low. You're not trying to round off the edge there, so you're just letting it ride. And then for the flat part, you're not going to strop the backside like this, because then you'll eventually put a round onto the side there. You want to keep the back flat. So some of this action there. All right, that should be more than sufficient. So let's just say I was going to skive all around here, right? Like thin out the edge there. This one's better for it. I would just decide about how far in I want to skive, so we'll call that 1/8 of an inch there. And you could mark it with a pen, or you could score it with a line. I like to score it. And then once I get to the end, I like to, I was a little floppy there, so we'll just pretend this is the end here. So what you'll do is, to make it easier on yourself, is you'll be skiving like so. And it would be better if this end wasn't moving so much. But that, that kind of sucks for me, but whatever. So you don't want to start with the whole blade up on the piece, because you run the risk of potentially skiving through. So if you have part of the blade already on the glass, you're not going, since the blade is already off of the piece, like so, you're not going to skive into it and cut through. And so you just find that line that you scored, and then skive down, and you have thinned your piece out. And you just keep it rolling. And I can skive down a bit more if I wanted to. So if you keep the blade on part of the glass, you basically remove the likelihood that you're gonna skive through and cut into the front of the piece or cut off a chunk. Sometimes it's just not an option depending on what it is that you're skiving, but hey, it is what it is. So you can skive down to a fine point, or you can skive down to just a lesser thickness. This one was not skived down to 0, just skived down to a thickness, a little bit of overlap. In which case you would either keep skiving down if you wanted to, or just trim the excess off. For the interest of speed, I just trim the excess off. If you don't score that mark, that's fine. You're just gonna have to be real gentle with how you skive it. The one that uses the razor blade, I did buy one of them from Tandy. So that one is not bad. However, the reason why I don't, that one's really good to learn on. You need to learn how a blade feels when it's going through leather. And that is a good learning tool, good learning aid. It is safe. It's called a safety, I think, bevel. Right, but I do not recommend using it for one reason. The shape of this blade, as you can see, it's flat across. What I'm skiving is what I'm skiving, and the only time that the angle will change is if I rotate my hand. The safety, so say this is the razor on the safety bevel or safety razor, it looks like this. So you're only skiving with the center, you're only skiving with the center part of the razor, of the blade that's in there. And so it'd essentially be, now granted this is a large oversimplification, but instead of cutting with the whole blade and then have the whole edge of the blade, you're basically just cutting out like little scoops like so, or you're trying to control it like this. I think it's always a better idea to have some of the blade on the glass to make sure that you're not cutting through. Like that. I'm not going to cut through unless I just dig in like that. With that safety skiver, there's so little of the blade compared to its length that's in contact with the leather. You increase the likelihood of skiving through. So it's a great tool to learn on. As you get better, you're very likely going to pick something else to skive with. I'm a big fan of the Japanese skiver or the French one. Whichever one you're most comfortable with. Oh, and the Japanese skivers aren't all this wide. Do you use some, hold on, some rouge for your tools? I do. I have, oh, they're in my bag. So I have a bag that I take with me anytime I'm going to do some projects out of the house. Because oftentimes I'll go to some place like Starbucks or something like that where there's other human beings around so that I can be around people. I could, in theory, not leave my house for anything except to go and buy food. And there's a grocery store not far from me that delivers. So in theory, I could not leave my house for anything. I mean, not even to ship goods. I could use the postal service system and then ship everything from the house when the postman comes up. So I get out of the house, but I still do my leatherwork stuff. And so I take that bag with me, and in that bag are the two jeweler's rouges that I have. So I've got a blue one and a green one. The white one isn't bad, but I get better results using the blue and the green. So I use the blue on the flesh side, and I use the green on the, well, this is a terrible example, but I use the green on the skin side of the strap, and I get really, really good results from that. Having said that, if the white rouge is working for you, don't change it. You'll know when you need to make any changes, and if you don't see a need to, then don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it is a saying for a reason. So yeah, that got skived down so thin that you can see the texture of the outside of the hide from the back. And I have never gotten that consistently with the safety beveler. Now, having said that, if you are having good results with that thing, keep using it. It's useful, it is inexpensive, and the replacement blades are lovely. These things, this one here, well, actually, the Japanese skiver isn't very expensive at all. The Palo Santo French bevelers that I have, they are not cheap. I don't like recommending Palo Santo to people who have not chosen to get into leatherwork for a while. Their stuff's not cheap, and I don't like recommending stuff that's expensive to people who haven't, decided that this is the thing that they're going to do. I don't like recommending that people get financially deep into something that's, barely a hobby. Palo Santo stuff is good, but they're not cheap at all. Just understand that before you go to their website or start buying their stuff. Pro tip, if you ever want to really quick just true up an edge, like the back edge here is not quite in line with this front edge, Dremel. Yep, I could have spent a minute or so, maybe more, getting that straight, trying to cut it. I did it in seconds with the Dremel. The Dremel is money. All right, so that's ready. We're gonna go ahead and, you know what? We're gonna dye these edges. Put this back. I believe this is a medium brown, and that's what we're gonna go for. Yep. So don't be afraid to go for some nice contrasted edges. Just enjoy it. Let me get a little bit more. There we go. A little bit more into that. All right, so I'm only going to do this and these top edges here, because I'll do the rest once they're glued up and have the flap attached. Try to get this done more in frame. All right. Do I do this? Yes, I do. I have a weaker version I use on my nails. I mean, truthfully, if you have something that is easier for you to control, then it's the right tool. You know, as long as it's not presenting any level of danger or anything like that to you, it's the right thing. Let me go ahead and do this. See if I can get this done without it being too much of a problem. See, now, normally I'd spend some extra time with the toconol and the burnishing, and while that is interesting, that is also very boring to watch, so I'm not going to subject y'all to that. Also, because I keep forgetting to ask, if you all haven't already, could you please hit the like button? I appreciate that if you would. I'm not sure how the algorithm works, but the interaction in the chat is great. Help me out with the like button. I would appreciate it. How long have we been streaming? Oh my goodness, 2 hours. All right. So I'm gonna get this glued up, ready to go, and then I will wrap up the stream. Who all's currently still in the chat? Miss King, you're here. I see 2 other people. It just shows that there's extra folks in here. Everybody else just tap in. If you're somebody who hasn't hit in before, just let me know where you're at, where you're from, that sort of good stuff. I'm going to prep this and then take off. Where's these glue pots are dope. Especially because of this. You know, it has a spot for the lid. When I got the glue that I use from District Leather, not sponsored by the way. Side note, I want to be sponsored, hit me up. And in my previous glue pot, it was one of those large ones with the brush attached and everything. Yeah, that thing was not ideal at all. Especially since I switched over to the water-based. That other glue pot is more ideal for stuff like barge. Side note, I gotta get that barge off the table. That's not where it belongs. Gonna plug another company that doesn't pay me any money, which sucks. But if you have one that's close by to you, check out the Tandy stores that are near you. Most of them have a class or two a month. It's $10, and that's all you have to pay. Well, at least it's $10 here. Maybe if you live someplace where it's more expensive, it might be like 15, something like that. You sign up for the class, you pay the money, and whatever it is that you make in the class, you keep. So what would normally have cost you maybe $40 in materials and you'd have to fumble your way through it, the staff there will perform legit instruction, and you get to use all of Tandy's equipment and material. And then when you're done, you take it home with you. It's yours. So if you haven't, please utilize those sorts of services. For the very low cost of a little bit of money and a little bit of time, you'll get significantly better at your craft. And it's plus or minus $10. Then maybe adjust based on cost of living for you where you're at. How far up is this going? Up to here. Some classes I was looking at were not in my area. Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate. Sometimes that happens. What you're looking for, they just don't got going on. I still recommend, though, that if you have the time, swing by, just check it out. You might learn something that maybe it's something that you already feel comfortable with. You'll improve your technique. I mean, if you're not going to get anything new, just practice something that you're good at. Tino was that practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So, if you're good at something, hit up some professionals so you can be great at it until you're perfect at it. Especially if it's only $10. Having said that, I am single with no kids, so my availability is not always the same as everybody else's availability. So take that advice with maybe not a grain of salt, but with a different amount of experience. Here we go. Is Northeast on Roosevelt Boulevard. I feel like I know where that is, but I haven't been to Philly since I think 2014. Yeah, I think it was 2014. All right. That's pretty well lined up. I'm gonna hit it with the Dremel real quick. Oh no, I'm not from Philly. I've been there a few times. I think the first time I was ever there was for the Army-Navy game way, way back in the day. Had to have been, I think, 04, 05. And I've gone back a couple of times for family because my sister lived out there. She lives back out there now. And a lot of my cousins live there. So if I'm close by, if I can manufacture a reason, I'll swing out to Philly. But if I'm not close by, FaceTime is the closest I'm coming. All right. Where are my clips? I think it would be hilarious to use this comically large clip to keep that together, but no. All right. These aren't too terrible. I wish I had the smaller ones, but hey. Oh, damn, I forgot to put the stamp on there. Well, now I have to have the stamp up here. Normally I put my stuff either dead center or lower right, and I forgot to put that here before I glued it up. I'm not going to undo it just to put the stamp in there. So post stitching, I'm gonna, come on. Yeah, post stitching, I'm gonna have the stamp in there, probably right there. Actually, let's move this down so we can see how that fits in there better. Yeah, there we go. So that's how we'll be looking once we're all done. Yep. So after I'm done stitching it up, I'll clean up this little nub right there, then darken up the edges. These will be hit with the Tokonole. These ones up here, they're what I call working edges. They're going to get used up a lot, so I'm not really worried about slicking up or edge painting those. But these ones out here, those are for show, so those ones will get darkened up and slicked up more. All right. Thank you all so much for tapping in with me. I really appreciate it. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, or requests, toss them into the comments. And if you're not catching this live, then hit me up on Instagram. Or you know what, just ask in the comments too. Hit me up, but either or, hit me up. And if you have, again, questions, comments, concerns, or requests, I'll entertain most anything as long as it's not too expensive or too big of a time vampire. All right. Thank y'all very much for tapping in to the live. I look forward to stitching everything up. Thank y'all very much for your time and attention. I'm Jay Renard, and I'm out. Peace.